What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, I gotta say, I was a tad bit worried about World War III. This game I have had a lot of mixed emotions with because it has been such a back and forth emotional roller coaster ride when it comes to this overall experience. The developers going absolutely ghost, and then they come back and they're alive, the game vanishing and it comes back into existence, the open beta being a term that is just simply thrown around so casually by the developers. Dates have been thrown around here and there forever until it got to the point where people just gave up and started guessing, when the beta dates were actually going to go live, and then the open beta does go live and the servers are pretty much out for 3-4+ weeks. People couldn't get into the overall experience. People gave up on the game. It was a rough time. It was a really rough time. And like I said, it scared me because the game is good. Obviously, the server's going to be rough. I think they took a lot longer than they should have to fix them. I understand they're a small team, but you got to think realistically here, All of us think realistically, even me on this channel, if you're going to do something like that, if the servers are going to be down for 3-4+ weeks, regardless, even if it's nothing you can do, you just automatically have to expect that people are just not going to want to try out your game. You can't be angry at them. You can't be salty at them. You're in the business of making games. That's going to be your typical consumer. If they can't get into the experience for that long, they're probably going to have a bad taste and they'll leave and find a different game to go ahead and invest their time into. So yeah, I was worried because I wanted a lot of console players to give this game a try. I wanted this game to be able to expand and a lot of people to give it a shot, but it's not going to go any further, the developer said, unless it gets enough support right now on PC that they could see that putting it over or porting it to console will be worth their time and effort. Because let's be real here, it's going to be a hard task for them to go ahead and do so. So why do that if the game isn't even going to be successful in the first place? But it seems like the game is actually pushing in the right direction. The developers over at Farm 51 went ahead and officially revealed their new operation called Operation Redline, which is coming December 8th. So yes, this month, very, very soon. So that is fantastic news. And they also went ahead and announced that in 2023, they're going to have 3 expansion packs or, 3 operations to go along with the game as well. So for anybody who's thinking that this game is dying, if it's not going to stay alive, they have already confirmed, basically promised, that guaranteed we are getting 3 more operations through 2023. So at least in 2023, we know this game is going to be alive and active, which I'm very thankful for because, like I said, this points in the direction that the game is seeing the support that the developers want to see from it, which means that console players, hopefully in the very near future, will be able to see a port that will hopefully be able to bring them into the experience, which hopefully we can introduce crossplay, and the game will be even more popular, even more populated, and a lot more fun to have an experience in. Now, in Operation Redline, there's going to be 2 new maps. Now, I don't know how they're handling these maps because typically one map can be split into 2 different modes, TDM and TAC Ops. And for anybody who doesn't know what TAC Ops is, it's basically Conquest from the Battlefield franchise. But each map has 2 different versions. They have a map that's laid out for TDM and a map that's laid out for TAC Ops. But here they're saying that it's a specific map for TDM and a specific map for TAC Ops. Now, I don't know if it's the same map with 2 different names, like they named them differently for each game mode, or if these are 2 legitimate different maps for each game mode. Gobi for TDM and DMZ for TAC Ops. I don't know how this is. I think they are 2 different maps, but, so be it. That's cool. I'll still be able to play some different type of content. Hopefully they're going to be bringing back I believe the rest of the maps in this game too. Are there any more maps that are missing from the original experience, or have they brought them all back into the game? I'm not sure, but let me know down in the comments section. There's going to be new gear, weapons, vehicles, and strikes, obviously. Operator blueprints. You can finally start, customizing your character a little bit more like you could back in the OG days. They're finally adding in the Battle Pass system into this game, which, once again, I don't mind Battle Passes. It's a nice way for developers, especially who put out a game like this free to play, to make a little bit of money off of the game itself. That doesn't include the store. There are a couple of assault rifles coming into the game, and I believe there is a main light battle tank, a light infantry fighting vehicle, and an unmanned aerial vehicle being introduced into the overall experience of this game. So, there's a decent amount of content being introduced into this game right here, I gotta say. I'm pretty happy with the load that we'll be getting in this game. And of course, to be expected, we are living in the day of live service models. So we will be seeing non-stop quality of life improvements across the board for World War III, which obviously, is needed in any game out there. So we'll be happy to see what they have in store with that one. But I got to say, the game is actually looking pretty solid right now. It's looking like how it should have looked a long time ago. I feel like we're getting there a little late here, but I'm still happy enough to see that it's finally happening for World War III, and the developers are finally able to put their vision together and push this game past a point that's not just fixing, the core bugs and glitches that are haunting the game itself. Now, I gotta say, I am a slight bit worried still, Hearing that it's only going to be 3 expansion packs in 2023, what is that? So it's going to be an update every 4 months? I guess that's not bad, Like I said, this is going to be a game for me personally that I'm going to add into the mix. Call of Duty Battlefield, maybe I'll hop on here when I get tired of the two every once in a while. So maybe not too many expansions is good, but I feel like for the hardcore player, it's going to be rough. Like I said, 2 maps. If you're only a TDM player, you're getting 1 map. If you're only a TAC Ops player, you're only getting 1 map. And those maps got to last you about 4 months. Because like I said, you got to think, if it's going to be 3 different operations, that's going to be 4 months a pop to equal, 12 months, which is a full year. So that's how it's going down here. Now, this is the worst case scenario because the developers haven't come out and officially said, oh yeah, we're only going to have so-and-so amount of maps, so-and-so amount of weapons every single season. This is just the first initial season. They just got done opening up the open beta, polishing off the game, getting it to where it should be. This is the first bit of content, so we have no clue. The next operation could be massive, and the one after that could be even more massive, and it could get larger and larger and larger. We have no clue what's going to happen with this game, but like I said, it's just a little food for thought. But at the end of the day, I think this game is definitely worth giving another chance. Like I said, I understand a lot of you have a very bad taste in your mouth when you think of this game, all because of the open beta. But you have to understand the servers are fine now, the game is polished off, and there's going to be a brand new operation dropping in pretty much, a week, less than a week, I'm not sure. So might as well hop back into the experience. Completely free to play. It doesn't cost you a single penny to get into the experience. You can try the operation for no cost at all. So I would say hop back into the game, give it a shot, see if you enjoy it, because I enjoyed it. Ever since day one, I enjoyed it. I always thought it had potential, and I always saw that, it could become something much bigger than it is right now. But it all depends on if the developers want to put forth the effort, and it seems like they do want to put forth the effort. All this planned content, all the updates, the consistency, more communication with their community. They're being a lot more active in that department, which I'm extremely thankful for. All of these things lead to a more polished off and more populated game with a more responsive and happier community. But you also got to keep in mind that none of these things are possible unless you, specifically, want to go ahead and support this experience. We all matter to this game. The community matters to this game, to any indie developed game. The community is what makes it big. All these other indie games that have popped off and become some of the most, top games out there, like Tarkov, for example, starting off as such a small project and turning it into the beast that it is today only happened because it has a hardcore community that is so devoted to it. Same thing with COD. COD, this franchise is massive, but let's be real here. Why is it massive? Because the hardcore community is so strong, and it only grows year after year after year. Even though they can continuously make so many different mistakes that a lot of people get angry about, at the end of the day, the community seems to still be stuffing their pockets. That is how a game becomes more alive and more polished, by us supporting it. So if you like what you saw here, if you like what you played, then support it. Again, I don't want people to judge it based off of bad initial servers to a game initially first launching in open beta. It should be judged off of how the game actually is. When the servers are working normally, how is the gameplay there? That is the experience that you want to test. That is the experience that you want to critique. So I would say give it another chance. And keep in mind, for console players, they're not going to see this game unless we go ahead and give it the support that it needs. And I'm not talking about money. You don't have to put anything into this game. You could simply download it and just play it. You don't have to put a dime into it. They just want to see that people will enjoy it, that people will, populate it. Because what is the purpose? Like I said earlier in the video, what is the purpose of porting it over to console if nobody is even going to be playing it on console? It has to be a popular enough game in order for them to even consider putting in the time to do so. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new and enjoy the content, if you subscribe, hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, there's two ways to do so: our Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also, want to catch up with live streams of video games over on Twitch, link is in the description as well. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.